What is up, guys? Welcome to episode 1 of the Training Log Podcast. We've been wanting to do this for a while. It's actually finally here. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling great, Lucas. This has been in the works for such a long time now. To be here speaking to you is amazing. We're finally getting it done.
We're finally getting it done. So what we're going to do in episode 1, we have no guest today. That's fine. We're going to talk about the difference between our high school and collegiate training because it's very different, and we want to give some insight as to what it's been like for us as D3 runners to make that transition. So, yeah.
Exactly. So, kickstarting our conversation today, I just want to touch on how we've been balancing social life, school, and running, and trying to find a good median of that. Because let's be real, finding a balance of that while being in an environment that's totally new to us is incredibly challenging. School, the uptick of difficulty from high school to college, there's a big difference. Same thing with social life. You're jumping in a new environment, as I've already said, and you're so new and you don't know where you're going. I'm 18 years old. I have no idea. This is my first time. So finding new friends and new people to connect with and all of that, it's challenging. And also running. We're at a program now, D3.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it's awesome. Like, this isn't high school anymore. Everyone's here because they want to be here. So, Lucas, how have you found like a good balance of all of that?
So I think one thought I had on this subject that's interesting is just in terms of like the spotlight thing we want to touch on and stuff, on how we're giving more of a spotlight to the actual athletes, student athletes of D3. In D1, from the videos I've seen and the things that I've looked at and what their daily lives are like, they have a lot of things catered to them. I feel that, it's for a reason. It's D1, it's better, blah, blah, blah. But they have, the student athlete center, this specific dining halls for student athletes, specific whatever. We don't really have, we have study hours and but it's just a smaller budget. It's a smaller school, whatever it is. And I think it's interesting that, if we're there, they're recruited and everything on scholarships to be D1 athletes. We're just here because we just weren't at that level. And, some people, there's a lot of different reasons people come to D3 because they were not good enough in high school, even though they wanted to go to D1. They just want to have a good time. They want to have fun. But it's interesting seeing this perspective that we have from people who weren't recruited because we weren't that great at high school. It's going to change. But so how have I just wanted to go on that little side topic? I think it still relates.
Yeah, before you get going on that question, I just want to add one thing that stuck out to me in one of our meetings was D3, a lady said in one of our meetings was like, D3 is the only division that prioritizes academics and the student life first. And I think that's so important to realize because let's be real, most of us listening, or even us, probably not going to become professional runners. We're not going to be paid to run as an athlete. So we're more than the sport, basically. And academics first at the D3 level. We're going to have careers after these 4 years.
Yeah.
Hopefully still running, but we are more than runners.
Definitely.
And that's a big reason D3 for a lot of people is beneficial.
I'm very excited to play that clip back when we sign our first pro deals. But, yeah.
Give us a couple years.
Yeah, I know. I'll give us a lot of years. But, how have we done it? How have we actually balanced our social life so far? Personally, I think I'm doing a good job. You can speak for yourself, but I'm happy with the life that I've built for myself here so far. It is tough, coming in here, but what is so great about being on a team and everything is you have that built-in friend group right away. I'm kind of a socially anxious person. What am I talking about? I'm a very socially anxious person. I don't really like being in big crowds and everything like that. And I don't know if I went to a big school or something where I couldn't have ran it, I don't know how well I would have fit in or just found a friend group in general. And that's a really tough thing for me. In high school, I had my friends from birth, really. So it would have been a really tough thing for me. What was so amazing here is that I came here and all the guys and they were amazing. They were such great people, people that welcomed us with open arms immediately, and that's got to be one of the major factors contributing to how well I've been able to fit in here and have a great social life by having those people on the team. Upperclassmen have been perfect so thus far. So I'm really happy with that. School, in terms of that, school is school. As a freshman, we're still taking some of those gen ed classes that don't really matter as much towards our major, and the ones that do are still kind of prerequisites. So I'm not really as interested. And my major is media studies, as you can tell. But it's more like prerequisites that aren't really specific to what I want to do yet. So I'm kind of just getting through that until it gets more interesting. But, finding a good median, it's tough because, you have a lot more free time than you used to in high school. But you also don't at the same time because, you're not in class as much, but you're doing a lot more. You're living on your own, That's something we can touch on at some point too. But that's what I think, having the support system of a team so far, a D3 cross-country track team, whatever it is, has been the biggest thing for helping me settle into college life.
Yeah, I totally agree. Looking back on my friend groups I made in high school, they've all driven through sports. One of my friend groups is soccer friends, another running friends. So for me, having that built-in foundation, like you said, coming into college, I don't know how I really would have made friends. To be honest, it would have been a lot more difficult.
And that's not to say that we're never gonna make friends outside of the team. But keep going. I'm just saying, we're not complete social recluses when it comes to anyone else outside of the track and field team.
That's a nice touch.
Yeah.
So what I was saying is you're built in. We came here 20 guys basically, and just the support system that we have here on all levels is amazing, and it makes that balance so much better. And relieves a lot of the social anxiety, like you said, coming into college. Totally new environment, totally new atmosphere. And you come in and you already have that built-in friend group. School for me, like you said, there's the general classes. I've changed my major this semester. So for me, all the classes I'm taking now are from my old major, which was education. And now I'm newly switched to dietetics. So hopefully next semester, I really, am more interested with the content of that. But it takes time, schoolwork. And running takes a lot of time too. For me, these practices, you can say this, what you're going to say, but the practices at the collegiate level and just the amount of time you're spending, the first 2 weeks that I came here, when classes officially started, I felt like I was drowning, to be honest. Just the amount of running we did and the schoolwork and just trying to catch myself up. I literally no free time the first 2 weeks, but then finding after the first 2 weeks, starting to get in a groove of things. Yes, it's scary when you come into college, not really knowing what you're doing, but after the 2 weeks where you kind of settle in a little bit and you get in a groove of things, build routine, build habit, then it really you just slowly uncover that good median, that good balance of everything. And do you have anything more to touch on that?
Well, it was something that I thought, as like you said, I wasn't drowning, but it certainly was tough those first couple of weeks. Practice was my favorite part of the day. It really was. And it still is today. Really, I just feel like I'm completely myself when I'm running and when I'm at practice with the teammates and everything. It's just, I love running. I love it. So I really think practice is just such a relief. But the other thing that I want to talk about training, we have a lot of teammates who kind of like to prioritize this as well, is you can't live your whole life through running, much to my unfortunate, if I could, I would. But you can't. You got to have a good balance like we've been talking about. And so, practice is my favorite part of the day. But when I come to the dorm, and I'm still able to do another hobby, listen to music that I like. I like to rank music. That's a really fun thing for me. Or watch some YouTube and just relax. That's fun too. You really got to find time to relax. So that's really the last thing I had to say on that matter.
And you're 18 years old in college. You're allowed to make somewhat stupid decisions.
Somewhat
stupid decisions.
Don't make fully stupid decisions.
Lucas doesn't like making stupid decisions that much.
No stupid decisions.
You're a kid basically. You're allowed in college. You're allowed to make mistakes, but as an athlete, you're not allowed to make high severity of mistakes, and just learning where the balance is and just having that mental resilience to not screw it up. Remember why you're here, why it's important, what's your why of training. Relating back to your why is again, why are you here? And then thinking back on all the stupid things you're doing, it's are your actions relating to your goal of training? And you just finding that balance is something I've been uncovering my first semester here.
Exactly. So if you want to move on to the next thing, the glory of it all, dealing with my favorite part of it, the uptick in mileage. Now, this is a big thing when we're going to talk about difference between high school and college. We both come from high school programs that were low mileage. High intensity workouts, but low mileage. I think I was maxing 30 miles during cross season. I kind of took it into my own hands a little bit, much to the dismay of my coach in senior year. But like, if there wasn't really a set mileage plan, it was just do the thing on the day when you get there, and that's what high school is really, unless you're like one of those upper Newbury Park type programs. How many Lex and Leo references am I gonna make? Jesus Christ, but a lot, because anyway. But yeah, so. Do you want to speak on your dealing with your uptick in mileage, and I will as well?
Yeah, exactly. Just like you said, my max during cross country was 30 miles a week, and that's me running before practice even started just to get the extra miles in. We treated cross country in high school as an 800-meter program, just like Lucas. So dealing with that collegiately. First cross country season, my max was 58 miles, I believe.
You got to 58?
I did get to 58.
Really?
I might have done a little extra.
I swear I only got to like 56 one week.
Yeah.
And we had the same program exactly.
Yeah.
So
I went a little overboard there. But I did hit 58.
Dang. I want more mileage.
And guess what? That's over double what I did in college.
College? High school.
There we go. High school. That's more than double what I did in high school. And that's just absolutely insane what a year difference makes. And just really our coaches are so smart of how they progressed us to that mileage. You can't just jump in and be like, oh, I see all these guys on Instagram running 70 miles a week. I can't jump right into that. You're going to get hurt. So our coaches, having conversations with your coaches of how you're dealing with the uptick of mileage. Some weeks I just straight out text my coach and be like,
I don't feel good.
I don't feel good.
Yeah.
My legs are horrible.
Which you are allowed to do, contrary to what some people think. Sometimes, me included, sometimes if my legs are sore, I'm scared to say it because maybe she'll, take my mileage down, which I'm so scared of, or something like that, because sometimes my pride gets in the way, which is something that you really can't worry about when you're running like this. You got to listen to your body. Pride can really hurt you, as I've experienced in the past. But yeah, you text your coach if you need to. Tell them your legs are hurting.
Yeah, exactly. And just learning, especially this first semester, is just learning how my body's reacted to the mileage. I think there was a run, we ran like 12 miles. In the last 6 of them, we were out on the trail in a little town called Stanford, just some old rail trail. And we were out there.
Best trail
ever. It's so scenic.
Second best.
Okay. For me, it's the best trail ever because I don't really have a lot of trails where I'm from. But just the last back half of it, me and Lucas are just cruising, talking, going, into 6-minute mile paces, high end 6-minute mile paces, and just cruising, absolutely talking. And that's like the best part of running high mileage is just running becomes so much more fun.
Oh, yeah.
The 5-mile runs you're doing on, in high school on 25-mile weeks at 8-minute mile pace that felt absolutely horrible. That just doesn't happen as much anymore. At 55 miles a week, to say what we were doing most of the time, it's just those 5-mile runs are just easy. Like they're just a shakeout.
Yeah, the feeling of floating that we had on that one run you're talking about, it was almost unlike any run I've ever had. And that's why when people are like, really, you don't like racing as much? The reason I love training so much is when races pay off when you're going all out and you see how hard you can go. But the training payoff, like a race payoff, when you're running a 12-mile run and you're just chilling at 650 pace like you've never been able to do before, I find that almost as a nice of a feeling as PBing. I mean, I don't, but almost, because it's showing that you are making that progress. And you know what? Let's say you don't PB that season or something. It's still fine because you were able to chill 650s like you never had before. That's a win. That's getting better. That's, showing what training can actually do. And that's one of my favorite things about it. So I'm going to talk now, unless you had anything else to say.
I was just going to say, we were talking after that run. It's just like, running while you're fit is so fun.
So
like
fun.
You just feel absolutely amazing. And then in high school, I never felt that way. I never ran more than 30 miles a week in season. So the 5K distance for me was a struggle bus every time. The last mile, I'm just drowning every single race. And just feeling this way now, running relatively higher volume than I did in high school, it's just, these runs were just aerobically so much fitter than what I was even a year ago. And it's only a year difference. But then I'm starting to think, okay, what is it going to feel like 3 years down the road when I'm a senior and I'm running these, my high school self wouldn't fathom the amount of miles I'm running, the volume of training, the intensity, the lifts, everything I'm doing. And just, I can't wait for the next 3 years. And then feeling my senior year, I can't wait to just sense what that feels like, because I know through the consistent taking action of running and just chipping away at the stone and grinding, just getting to that point and just dreaming of that point I'm going to get in 3 years. Not to say that in between those 3 years doesn't matter, because it does, and just really loving the process.
Yeah, I have two thoughts on what you just said, actually. The first one is that a lot of people say, and I'm not calling you out. I don't think you're the opposite. I mean, you're the complete opposite. But a lot of people are like, man, if I'm doing this now, freshman year, blah, 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 then senior year, it's going to be insane. And they're completely undermining the fact that they actually have to put the work in. They think it's just going to come to them. It won't. So many times, I ran 2:05 in the 8 my junior year winter. I'm thinking, wow, okay, sub 2's a given in the spring. Then let's see, in my senior year, I'm going to, maybe 155 possibly. I didn't break 2:05 until my last race in my high school career, just because I would always get in my head in the 8s. Either the training wasn't right, I was always sore, maybe some burnout, whatever it was, it just didn't happen, even though I thought it was a given. So it's not. You gotta do the stuff. Not saying I wasn't doing the stuff, it just probably was a little wrong for me. But you gotta do the stuff to get you there, or else you won't get there. It's a stupid but really accurate quote, The other thing is, you want to talk about a difference from high school to college. My freshman year of high school, I'm thinking, if I don't get back from my run in high school and I'm not dead on the ground, lying on the huffing and puffing, need water right now, then it wasn't even a successful run, because that's the whole blah, blah, blah. I didn't know a thing. Now I'm here, a thing mo reference. I didn't. And now I'm here and I know a lot more, but we're still going on this quest to learn even more, to get better, because that's what pursuit of knowledge is. But the fact that now we're able to do this and, chilling at paces I never have been chilled at by me before, is just such an awesome thing. So that's how have I dealt with the uptick in the mileage? I think it's a combination of a whole lot of things. Now, adjusting to the college lifestyle is scary and takes a while at first, yes. But there are a lot, obviously, because you're going to college, of positives to that, and I'll explain what I mean right now. At home, I went home for Thanksgiving break, and I just flat out did not feel as productive. And I'll tell you what, I went into college thinking I'm going to be the greatest runner of all time, blah, 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 because, now that I know what to do, I want to be really good. And so I got into these really good habits of, when I wake up from my dorm, I want to get some stretching done, or we have two things that I've consistently done this entire time I've been here. That is meditation streak every single day. Every single day since we've gotten here, I have meditated right before I go to sleep. Sorry about that. I've meditated every single day before I go to sleep, because I think it's good for the mind, and I've had mind issues in the past when it comes to racing, overthinking, everything you could think of. Literally, I'm overthinking it right now. And then the other thing is a salad a day challenge, because I think obviously nutrition, and that's going to be an episode we definitely talk about as considering your major now. But nutrition, we've had a salad a day.
Not me.
No.
I'm slacking.
But I've made sure that my first lunch item order before I'm allowed to eat anything else is a salad. Is that overboard? Maybe, but sometimes you gotta go overboard to do certain things. And maybe it's not even that overboard. Maybe I'm overthinking it right now. But the point is that nutrition, stretching, sleep. Those are my 3, and hydration, I guess, but I've always been good at hydrating. My 3 things as to why I've been able to deal with this mileage is when you go up in mileage, you see a lot of injuries because people don't take care of themselves otherwise. Mobility has been a massive thing for me, I think. We do mobility at least twice a week. Sometimes it has on your own because sometimes people slack. But when you do mobility at least twice or 3 times a week, my body feels a lot more loose, stretching. My body feels just ready and recovered. Rolling, I roll before I go to sleep every single night, and sometimes twice a day because it's very needed, and you have to do that. Rolling is just one of the absolute essentials to feeling good, I've discovered. Nutrition, eating better and eating more. I mean, running 55 miles a week, you need a lot more food in your system than I used to. And then sleep. I'm trying to get to bed at like 10:30. That's the most difficult one, being in college with all the schoolwork. But sleep recovery is a massive thing. I think even I would like to look into the science of it at some point, but how going to bed earlier despite getting the same amount of hours, like let's say the difference between getting 9 hours from 1 a.m. to 10 a.m. or 10 a.m. to math 8 a.m., 7 a.m. That was 9. Yeah, it is. I'm in college. But yeah, so those are my 3 big ones: nutrition, rolling, mobility, and recovery, sleep.
Yeah, I just want to talk to you about like the work ethic that college has given us. Looking back in high school, in my room I had a chalkboard with my time goals on it. It was 4:39 a mile, 1:59 in the 800, and like sub 10:30 in the 2 mile. And every day I'd wake up and I'd see that the second I'd wake up. And then I'd think to myself, okay, it's great to have those goals, but am I putting in the work to actually achieve those goals? It's one thing to have a goal, right?
Yep.
But if you're not taking action to achieve those goals, like hydrating, sleeping, rolling out, doing all the little things, then guess what? You're never going to achieve those goals. So right now, me and Lucas have a goal of going sub 4:30
pretty quickly in the indoor season.
In the indoor season, we are obsessed with it. We really want to go for sub 4:30 in the mile.
BU.
But in high school, I look back, my goal is sub 4:40. Was I the person that deserved to go sub 40? Or like looking back on it, was I the person putting in the work? Was I rolling out? Was I eating healthy? No. Was I rolling out? No. Was I hydrating the best? No. Was I skipping stuff on the lifting sheet? Yes. Am I playing frisbee when I'm supposed to be running? Yes. Like, am I the person that deserves to go sub 40, 4:40 a mile? No. Right. So just that mindset shift that I've gotten in college now, with just the atmosphere and culture that we have on this team, that we're just so driven now. I can't have the excuse now to say, okay, am I a person that deserves to go sub 4:30 in the mile? Looking at it today, I think so.
Yeah.
If I constantly do the things that I say I'm going to do, I write down what I'm going to do each day. In my book, right? I write down what I'm going to do each day. And then if I do it, am I the person that deserves to go sub 4:30? Yeah. But did I do that in high school? No. And I think that's
massive difference.
A massive difference.
Yeah.
And just the mindset shift and just the overall culture that we have here on the team. And that's one of the main differences in high school and college running. It's just like everyone's here because they care about running and they have that driven mindset. So the seniors on the team, looking at them, they're just absolutely amazing. Their mindset, so resilient, so driven. And then that just,
it's infectious.
It's infectious.
To the rest of the
team. It goes down to us, and just, we're just so motivated now. And
when they're, sorry, I don't want to cut you off, but when they also are not, maybe feeling it as much, we, the freshmen, are there to pick them up. It's just a great cycle.
Yes, and now I'm just saying to myself, okay, don't make an excuse. Do the right things. I know what the right things are. I just got to do them. So if you are obsessed with this goal, if you're all in on this goal, then do it. Like, honestly, just go out there and do it.
Don't just think about doing it.
Yeah, because it's one...
you know that you know the actual steps in getting there. but you have to do it.
Yes, it's one thing to think about a goal. Like I said before, it's great that in high school my goal was sub 440 in the mile. But was I constantly taking action to become a sub 440 miler? No. And now just the college culture and everything, I can't have that excuse.
Exactly. No, that's going to be one of the big things I think I've learned. This big thing I've learned before we even start this podcast. Training, the actual running part of training, is just half of it. The other half is everything that comes after and before that leads you back. It's a cycle that leads you back into the actual running itself. So you could be the best guy at actually doing the running and doing the training when you're actually there. But if you don't care when you get back about this stuff, sure, it might work for you now. Sure, it might work for you next season. It's going to come back to bite you at some point, and you're going to get overtaken by the guy that's doing the right things. Or at least that's what I've been telling myself for the past however long, because that's the only way I know, as a not naturally talented guy, that I'm going to get to the goals I want to hit. So it's all about the running and then the recovery. The recovery of eating, sleeping, rolling, everything like that. Don't make excuses for yourself. You're just gonna hate yourself later for it. Really, you are.
Yeah, and just circling back before we went on that kind of long but important tangent was just the lower intensity of workouts. I want to touch on that a little more because during my high school running career, yes, I was running 25 miles a week, but every other day I was ripping 200s at 30 seconds or below, right? So the intensity now is so much lower, but we're running a lot more, and we have those specific sessions that allow us, to achieve our goals. If you want to touch on that a little more.
No, yeah, that's what I loved about cross-country training. I mean, we were doing specific cross-country training, workouts that were going for specific paces that we want to hit in specific parts of certain races, specific races. It was just, that's my key word. I'm saying it a lot because it's very specific. That's my favorite part about it. You know that what you're doing it for a reason, and that's why you're going to get better. And I think that's one of the main reasons why cross-season, I don't know about you, but went so well for me, and I think it went so well for you as well. So, yeah, the lower intensity, I've never been less sore despite running 20, 30 more miles than I usually do because those workouts would just take it out of me. Training like an 800-mile guy for cross-country. But now that we were running slower paces but precise paces for what we actually would be running, it was perfect, and it's what really helped me get through the season.
Yeah, and just like a main difference between high school and college is just our coaches, right? In high school, our coaches, not to discredit my coach or anything, but they're not paid professional coaches. They don't have the resources and time.
They are paid.
Well, they are paid, but they're not solely paid to be a coach, right? So just, they're teachers too, or whatever your coach was.
Mm-hmm.
They can't go all in on focusing on us as athletes. So for me, I didn't have a specific individualized training plan in high school. I just, we all got grouped together and kind of did mostly the same thing. But now in college, we all have our own individual training plan based on what our goals are.
Yeah, so I'm gonna say this on the topic of high school coaching and stuff. I am pretty close with my high school coach, and I've spoken to him about this exact thing that I'm talking about right now before, about the uptick in training, everything like that. And his philosophy that he's told me is always quality over quantity, because he thinks that's the right thing to do for a high school level runner. Now I agree and disagree. I don't know if he's gonna listen to this, but if he ever will, I don't know. But I agree in terms of an argument he's made to me before, that it helps us prepare us for the college running lifestyle if we ever want to go on to do it like I did, where, if you're chilling at 25, 30 miles, maybe you're not getting the most out of, high school running, but it's going to allow you to progress so much once you get into college, because you already have a little bit of a base there, but then you're going to skyrocket and you're not already going to be burnt out. Now, the downside to it is just depends on how much you actually care about high school running. I kind of really did. I really kind of wanted to be really good. I didn't really get that urge until really junior, senior year. But it's kind of a give and take thing, because maybe as a result of that training style, I just felt a lot more sore and a lot more burnt out than I could have or should have in certain races. But now that we have the workouts that we do here, it's just such a big difference, such a massive difference that I feel so good about.
Yes, and touching on what you just said was you didn't care, but you cared, but you didn't care fully until your junior and senior year.
Yeah.
And in college, everybody cares.
Oh, yeah.
In my high school team, looking back, half the people were there just because, my friends are doing it. I'm just here because my mom signed me up. Just random things of why they're there. But now everyone's here because they have a clear goal, a clear objective. They like running. They're driven people that have the goal to become better. And that's what running brings at the collegiate level.
It's so incredibly true. It's infectious, like I've said before. That's, again, if people may not think it, D3 running, they don't really take it. Or D3 sports in general, it's not as serious. It is. It is incredibly serious. Everybody wants to succeed, wants to do the best here. We're not paid on scholarships, but, we might as well be, honestly, because we're here and we're doing it. Yeah.
Yeah, and touching back on the first 2 weeks that we're here, I'm like, whoa, D3. I did not expect this at all. I
was really hoping it would be like
I was hoping it would be, and I'm very thankful that it is because that's what I wanted. But I'm like, okay, D3, I'm just going to mainly focus on academics, right? But as we got here, especially the first 2 weeks, I was spending so much of my time with the guys, training, and doing all the little things right. I feel like most people appreciate how much time D3 athletes spend on their craft. And we're spending just as much time as D1 athletes are training somewhat. They just have more resources to do it.
Exactly.
But we have the same drive, mission, same time we spend doing our sport as them because we can only train so much during, the day. So a lot of people discredit D3, but we really shouldn't. There's just firsthand account. There's so many people out here working incredibly hard.
Moral of the story, don't sleep on us.
Yes.
We will get you. That's all I'm saying.
Yes.
When we go out and we're sophomore, junior, seniors, and we're racing at BU or wherever we are, and we're beating some D1 guys, just saying.
Watch out.
Watch out.
Yes.
This would be really funny if one day we transfer D1 and be like, D1's pretty cool too. But no, D3 is just awesome. Even if we ever, I don't know. I don't want to speak for the future at all because you never know what's going to happen. I could 100% see myself staying here all 4 years. I could 100% also see myself transferring. I don't know. But it's because that was me of saying I don't want to look ahead to the future that much because I just want to try to live in the moment. But D3 really is just an awesome experience. If anyone's ever wondering, what's the right D3 is an awesome experience. If you are a runner, not quite like I was. I don't think I was quite good enough to be on the D1, D3 line. I love how no one talks about D2. That's hilarious to me. But if you're not quite teetering on the D1, D3 line, or if you are, and you're like, well, I could go to a D1 school that's I'd be the worst on it or the second worst on it, but I go D1 and people would be impressed. Or you can go to D3 school where you're middle or front of the pack and you're going to get better and you like the team a lot more and you know that this is the right school for you, academic, whatever it is. Pick that school because you know that's the right school for you. I know you know it. It's just, what's more important? Your commitment post and the comments you get on Instagram or your actual 4-year experience?
I think people are so driven by their ego.
Yeah.
D1 is such a light up word to say to your friends.
I went D1.
Yeah. To say to your friends, family, just the clout you get for saying you're D1.
So I don't blame certain people, but you got to realize the sacrifice you're making for a couple. Really?
It's not worth going D1 to a school you hate that's more expensive and just you rather go to a school. It's not worth the likes on Instagram.
It's not.
To go D1.
Really, it's not. It really just is not. So, you got anything else on this topic? I think we covered it all, personally.
Yeah, I think this is a great first episode, and hopefully we continue making episodes. I think we're both driven to do that, and we really just want to keep producing episodes because we both enjoy doing it.
We do. Now, if you want to try something, this could be really cringy.
Okay.
And this might be a thing we only do on the first episode.
This is off script, by the way.
This is very off. There's no script. But this is very off script. I might just cut this out entirely, but I might not. Is the fact that I'm just gonna say right now at the end of this episode 1, what my PBs are. I'm just gonna say it.
Okay.
And
so looking back,
you can be like, wow, that's what your PBs were when you started this. Because I'm gonna be honest, I can't really remember my freshman year PBs that much. Well, maybe I can. But point is, I'm just going to do it to remind myself and then also see where the starting point was when we went on this journey.
Yeah.
So, all right, ready? Currently, my 2-mile PB is 10:30 or 3,200. My mile PB is 441 or 1,600, 439, whatever the conversion. 800's 203. And those are really the ones I care about, pretty much.
Yeah, my 2-mile is a 10:37, and my mile is a 4:40. And my 800 is a 2:04.
And this is on the verge of track season about to start. We had a pretty successful cross season, but times are not relevant in cross.
I want to speak on that a little bit because I had goals coming in to college. And I was like, okay, I'm not... Looking at myself, I didn't see myself as an 8K runner. I still don't see myself as an 8K runner, but I kind of was like, okay, my first year, if I break 30 minutes in the 8K, I'll be astounded, very happy. But I ended up going 28:03 on a nice course, and just like that just shows how much talent we have on this team, and just how it just lifts us all up.
Shout out Mike Woods Invitational at Geneseo, place where dreams come true is what I called it, because that course is so fast. 27:12 is what I ran there, and it was, what so so that's what I think. We're gonna do. We don't have to say our PBs every episode, but I think it's a nice little benchmark, certain ones. To just say.
And I think deeper into our indoor season, we can just kind of touch on our races.
Oh, we're definitely going to, yeah.
And just kind of just telling you guys how the whole experience of our trips are, as D3 runners.
Exactly. So that's gonna be it for episode 1. Episode 2, hopefully featuring a guest. We won't spoil it right now, but definitely featuring a guest.
Stay hyped.
Yeah, so that's going to be it. We will see you later.